We have to taught the truth. Things did very hard. We have to taught the truth. We did tired that we yard online school did I keep. Mama said me have to do it. So me take up my books and me warm up my seat. Me nah lie. Today everybody look nice. Parents, teachers, students and Miss Price. Everybody just a glow. Me just like the flow we have with big subjects and that's where we are so. Miss Lisa Grant, Chairman of the School Board, the Very Reverend Canon Colin Reed, Senior Rector Canon and Director of the Cathedral, leaders of service, the very ever-poised Miss Castle and the radiant Mrs. Forshaw, past students and principal Mrs. Colette Furtado-Price, guest speaker and past head boy Mr. David Brown, past vice principals and principals, Mr. Michael Yee Singh, Miss Ardeen Jones, and Mrs. Sandra Swire Watson, past students, executive, and members of the Parent Teachers Association, specially invited guests, distinguished parents and well-wishers, esteemed graduates and friends. Welcome to Valedictory Service 2021, or as they would say in Spanish, bienvenidos al servicio de despedida 2021. And of course, the French, bienvenue au service d'adieu 2021. Indeed, this has been a grueling journey, but we have risen above the challenges we have endured. The Almighty God has blessed us, and we can declare we are favored and blessed. Fellow graduates, welcome to our valedictory service. Our parents, teachers, and friends are here to celebrate with us because they are most pleased with us. So let us be thankful for this opportunity and let us bask in the euphoria of the completion of this of our lives. My fellow graduates, congratulations. My fellow Child youths, we made it. Continue to be strong, tenacious, judicious, ambitious, gracious, and optimistic. Because at the end of the day and night, and you know, we just have to do when the time comes. And you know, we tried. And guess what? Them can't say whenever. Them can't say whenever. Big up on yourself.
Oh wow, oh wow. Can I hear it again for Mr. Demarley Cohen, your salutatorian? Well said, and I am feeling the warmth, I'm feeling the love, and I am definitely feeling welcome. Are you parents feeling welcome? Wow, can I hear you parents? Are you feeling welcome? Wow, all right, at this time, we're gonna have greetings, and this will be done by Mrs. Tracy Ann Lynch, the Territorial Educational Officer, Ministry of Education, Region 6.
Masters of Ceremony, Miss Melissa Castle and Mrs. Stacy Ann Forshaw. Senior Canon and Rector of the Cathedral de la Vega, the Very Reverend Canon Colin Reed. Guest speaker, Mr. David Brown, Esquire. Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Ms. Lisa Grant. Principal, Mrs. Colette Furtado-Price. Vice Principals, Mrs. Antoinette Wright Dallin and Mrs. Karine James Barnett. Past Principal, Mrs. Sandra Swire Watson. Past Vice Principals, Ms. Jones and Mr. Yee Singh. Graduates, parents, teachers, other staff members, and persons who have joined online, good morning. St. Jago, good morning. Thank you. Please accept warm greetings from the Ministry of Education Youth and Information, Region 6. St. Jago, it is indeed a pleasure to be able to address you at your valedictory service. Graduates, this service not only depicts the end of secondary school, but the beginning of a new page in your academic journey. Today, we celebrate your achievements as you transition to the world of work, tertiary, or continued education. The Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information is proud of our graduates, and by extension, the school, for the achievements and accomplishments, especially seeing that last year and even now has been so full of many challenges. I know personally that everyone is happy to be at this service this morning. Isn't that so? Especially in the light of the challenges associated with the COVID-19 pandemic and the curfew measures outlined under the Disaster Risk Management Act. Today marks the culmination of sound and deserving accomplishments. The Ministry of Education, Region 6, is proud of you, our distinguished graduates, particularly because you rose above all the obstacles associated with the temporary closure of the brick wall classroom. The Ministry of Education commends all graduates and recognizes this institution, this noble institution, as a crucial partner as we collectively as a region inspire and nurture greatness. And so, we want to thank the parents of our graduates for your support during this period. I am proud to acknowledge the hardworking team of this institution and extend my warmest gratitude for a job well done in developing these students in spite of the challenges. Please applaud the team. We urge you to continue to partner with us as we seek to inculcate and maintain a high quality of education. Congratulations on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Region 6. We celebrate with you. God bless you all on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Lynch. At this time, we invite the members of the music department to offer a selection. Okay, let us move on. Miss Dejanay Usherwood.
Life is a conundrum of esoterica. Sir David Winston Brown is from the community of Corlett Road, Spanish Town, Jamaica. He attended the Spanish Town Infant and the Spanish Town Primary Schools. So we know that Mr. Brown is a real Spain Town original man. We ourselves have something in common with Mr. Brown, because upon sitting the Grade 6 Achievement Test, he became a part of St. Jago's repertoire. He earned his placement at our noble institution in 2001, and expectedly, he was a dynamic and curious student with a highly developed acumen. He desired to get involved in the school's activities, and as my friend Danteva would say, him can't stop now, him busy. To quench his desire, he wrote a letter to then Vice Principal, Mrs. Nina Bulgin, and Senior Teacher, Mrs. McGregor Horton, asking to be a part of the bookroom team. And no, he did not stop there. He wrote to school administrators, private sector leaders, and government officials seeking support in his endeavors while at St. Jago. He took part in a plethora of activities and was a part of the school's debate team, credit union quiz team, and the Wortley House leadership team. He received national awards for placing first in Jamaica in the 2006 sitting of CSEC's Principles of Business exam and second in the country in social studies. He was a writer for the Teen Herald and a youth political commentator on CVM television. In his final year at St. Jago, Mr. Brown served diligently as head boy and as regional vice president of the National Secondary Students' Council. Upon graduating sixth form as valedictorian, he taught history at St. Jago for one term before moving to Miami, Florida in January 2009 to pursue undergraduate studies at St. Thomas University. At St. Thomas University, Mr. Brown was a student government senator, president of the Caribbean Students Association, a member of the President's Leadership Circle, and was recognized as Resident Advisor of the Year. He graduated valedictorian and was honored as Student of the Year in 2011 with summa cum laude honors. He went on to represent the interests of past students in Washington, D.C., when he later returned to Jamaica, then watched tourists. In 2011, after completing his undergraduate studies, later to become a producer and broadcast journalist at CVM Television, covering Parliament and other national events. He was also a news presenter on Live at 7 and Hot 102. 1 year after joining CVM, he received the Press Association of Jamaica's Young Journalist of the Year award. During his time in Jamaica, Mr. Brown also served in a senior communications role at the then Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing, working closely with the ministers, ministry executives, and officials at the Office of the Prime Minister. In 2014, he returned to the United States on a merit scholarship to study law at the George Washington University Law School in Washington, D.C. At GW Law, Mr. Brown was a student advisor, executive member of the Black Law Students Association, and executive managing editor for the American Intellectual Property Law Association Quarterly Journal. He received White House and university recognition for his pro bono legal service in 2017. Currently, Mr. Brown is a commercial real estate and college law attorney at Goulston and Stores in Washington, D.C., and I'm sure he wouldn't mind teaching us how to act in loco advocatus. He represents corporate clients from across the United States in major acquisitions, dispositions, recapitalizations, and mortgage financings. While working full-time, Mr. Brown is simultaneously pursuing his doctorate in education and at Vanderbilt University with a focus on leadership. His determination and adroit abilities incurred great personal success and cements the only true rational reasoning that St. Jago High School only bears greatness. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Mr. David Winston Brown.
All right, thank you, Ms. Usherwood. I told them I'm short, so. All right. All right, so Masters of Ceremony, Miss Melissa Castle and Mrs. Stacy Ann Forshaw, the Very Reverend Canon Colin Reed, Senior Canon and Rector of the Cathedral of St. Jago de la Vega, Mrs. Tracy Ann Lynch, Education Officer, Ms. Alyssa Grant, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mrs. Colette Furtado Price, Principal, Mrs. Antoinette Wright Dallin, and Mrs. Corrine James Barnett, Vice Principals, Mrs. Sandra Swire Watson, Past Principal, Ms. Ardeen Jones, and Mr. Michael Yeasing, former Vice Principals, graduates, parents, teachers, and those who have joined us online. Good morning. Now, the number 13 is usually viewed as an unlucky number with many attaching superstitious beliefs. However, for me, it represents the number of years that I graduated from St. Jago High School, And in my 13th year, I find myself to be truly honored and privileged to have been asked to be your guest speaker. 13 years ago, I stood on the grounds of our beloved school as valedictorian and declared that there's no need to worry because what I was about to say was going to be as short as I was. The same holds true today. I haven't grown much since, so let's see how brief my remarks will be. Let me use this opportunity to say thank you, Madam Principal and Vice Principal James Barnett, for extending this invitation to speak. Ms. James Barnett taught me econ in sixth form, and I gave her a lot of trouble back then. Let me also say that I'm delighted to see Mrs. Watson, who was in her first year as principal when I was head boy, and I'm thrilled to see the faces of administrators and teachers who served and taught during my tenure at St. Jago. Now, I could spend the limited time that I have to talk about how you have had to learn during a stressful, chaotic pandemic that has resulted in job losses for your parents and loved ones, that has resulted in a diminished zeal on the part of some with respect to learning, and that has resulted in you facing anguish over what the future holds. How will this pandemic affect scholarship opportunities? How will it hinder your ability to study overseas? And how will it impact your drive to succeed? There are no easy solutions to these questions, but there's a simple answer. You keep on persevering. I do not have a magic formula to present you with. I do not have a three-step plan that you must adhere to whenever you come upon a challenging task. I cannot definitively point you in the precise direction that you need to take in order to guarantee success. You know, those who have been following me on social media over the years know that I love to talk, and I'm not always shy about being vulnerable. Just yesterday morning, a Facebook memory popped up on my phone from August 2011, 10 years ago. And apparently I wrote this: God knows that there's a pearl in you that is waiting to be developed. Prayer will not remove all the troubles and heal all the wounds. Sometimes suffering is not always there to induce discouragement. Rather, it is there to refine you. Keep pushing through the process. At the end of it, you will appreciate the test because the pearl inside you is still developing. I was going through a difficult stage at that time after graduating from college in 2011, but I had to convince myself that that difficulty would not hold me down. Similarly, it is my hope that most of you, teachers and students alike, have strengthened your resolve to become stronger, more resilient characters during this period, and I trust that you will use it as a chance to refine yourself and not to throw your hands in the air. But I don't want to spend too much time on the pandemic. It may linger for a while, but this too shall pass, at least mostly. Your individual goal during and after this pandemic is to ensure that you are not found wanting or left behind when the opportune time arrives for you to make your move. Importantly, while I have not presented you with the solutions to some of the complicated questions that you might have as you depart St. Jago, it does not mean that you are not equipped to take on the future. Rest assured that St. Jago High provided me with the tools that I needed and has provided you with even better tools to face what can be an uncaring, unforgiving, and tumultuous world. You will benefit from a school legacy that is unmatched. You will benefit from a network of professionals who are all too eager to give a listening ear and to provide you with mentorship. And you will benefit from soft skills that will come in pretty handy once you return your graduation gowns and begin contemplating your next moves. I took away a few soft skills from St. Jago, which I have used to endure some hard times. The teachers at St. Jago taught me how to write, how to be an advocate, how to ask for what I need, and how to be confident yet respectful in doing so. Earlier this year when I visited Jamaica, my mother handed me this sheet of paper, which she said fell out of one of my old textbooks as she was cleaning. This was a letter that I wrote to the then president of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce as part of an assignment that Ms. Vassell gave to me when I was in fifth form. This letter is dated May 1, 2006. Now, I don't know why we're still getting assignments so close to CSEC exams, but that's not the point. In it, I advocated for the Chamber to fully recognize grade 3 passes as acceptable passes and not to discriminate against applicants possessing such grades, as youth employment is vital to the development of our parish. This 15-year-old assignment was not just another task, but is indicative of how St. Jago prepared me for where I am today. Notably, it was not the first letter that I wrote, as Ms. Usherwood said, while I was a student at St. Jago. And as she mentioned, about a week after I enrolled as a first form student, I wrote a letter to then Vice Principal Mrs. Nina Bulgin and Mrs. McGregor Horton, who oversaw textbook distribution, outlining why they should allow me to work in the book room. This small little guy who just started high school. Mrs. Wright Dallin, Ms. Vassell, and current Member of Parliament Carenza Morrison helped me to hone my writing along the way. Mrs. Hunter mentored me in harvesting my political interests. I used those skills to later write to then Education Minister Burchell Whiteman, seeking additional resources for the school. And as I struggled to pay for college in Miami, I wrote to folks like Oprah Winfrey, Dwayne Wade, and Mr. Rudy Graff for assistance. For law school, I wrote to Mr. Michael Lee Chin, Dr. David Panton, and government officials both here in Jamaica and in the United States. Now, I didn't write to anyone for my doctoral program because at that point I could no longer say that I'm a young, destitute immigrant from Jamaica. The gray hairs rather, are a dead giveaway. The overarching point is that you are not leaving here unprepared. The tools are in your minds, in your hands, and in your ability to articulate your needs and desires. So, put your mind to it and get creative. Speak up and put pen to paper whenever necessary. In doing so, be strategic in attaining your endeavors. Be thorough in your thinking. Have a plan and be intentional in your actions. No perceived success that has come my way has come as a surprise. Why? Because I dreamed, because I strategized, and because I executed. I knew I wanted to attend school in the United States, but had no money to even purchase a plane ticket after sixth form. To my mother's dismay, I decided to defer my acceptance at the University of the West Indies, and instead I taught for a semester at St. Jago. During that time, I saved, I discreetly consulted with others, I organized where I would live, I lobbied relatives, and I raised funds by writing more letters, of course. So where does one find this perseverance? Where does one find the will to push against the odds? And how do you find the determination to buck all obstacles and remain steadfast? Again, no simple solution, but an easy answer. You have to dig deep. You must challenge yourself. Friends, family members, church leaders, and teachers can remind you of your ability to do well and to nudge you to act. But the capacity to get up, reach out, and make your desires a reality is squarely on you. You have to be hungry for it. You have to be willing to go above and beyond, legally, to get to your destination. As a student at St. Jago, I remember being reluctant to let classmates know that I lived in a big tenement in Corliss Road, Spanish Town. The sound of gunshots sometimes put me to sleep and woke me up. I've been chased by gunmen, and I was robbed at gunpoint while on my way to school as a second form student. I think he had a gun, I'm not sure. I recall not having running water for almost 2 years during a prolonged period of drought. But those experiences didn't make me cower. I didn't use them as an excuse not to dream. I didn't constantly lament my shortcomings or the lack of resources. Rather, I took stock of those challenges and earnestly strategized and sought ways to again buck the status quo. In doing so, one has to tap into those internal resources. These include your grit, your resolve to grow, self-efficacy, and your vow to succeed. It is not all about having external physical resources. Take it from someone who had IT classes under a tree behind Siberia while in third form, assuming you still call that block Siberia. In any event, a fancy classroom and little will to achieve will not result in much success. But let me hasten to say that you will not always come out victorious in your endeavors, as sometimes you will face failure, embarrassment, and not constantly get the support that you need. My biggest moment of disappointment while at St. Jago was not completing the final paper of the chemistry CSEC exam because I doubted myself. Ms. Castle, 15 years later, hopefully you've forgiven me. I tried to make up for it by passing biology and meteorology in college, so hopefully we're good now. Folks, life comes at you fast, and these things happen but you should not shudder. Do not stay down. When in doubt, throw everything at the task. I applied to about 10 law schools with the aim of just getting into one. So get up and keep going. Don't just try once. Don't give up the second time. Don't throw in the towel on the third try. My view is that something must stick, so keep at it. Graduates, as you venture out, let us not forget the shoulders on which you stand. Your success is a culmination of your family's efforts, your community's protection, and your teacher's guidance. I think back on my days at St. Jago and appreciate that my mother ensured that I had lunch money every week. I still don't know how I made $1,500 last over a 5-day stretch, which included money for a weekly haircut. My grandmothers also ensured that food was always on the table, so I honor them as well. Let me remind you to be humble in climbing the proverbial ladder. And don't forget those who are keeping you sturdy and those who are cheering you on as you climb. I stand here because others stood with me. You are graduating today because others stayed up late with you, cooked for you, cried with you, washed for you, struggled with you, put up with you, and celebrated with you. Graduates, as you move on, I want you to really contemplate your purpose. Where do you see yourselves 13 years from now? What impact will you have on your community and the wider society? You're teenagers now, but before you know it, you'll be 20, 25, and 30 soon. Take it from me. So begin creating your legacy at this moment. Dream boldly, dream intentionally, dream with confidence. When you get to the next phase of your life, become involved, have an inquisitive mind, and respectfully challenge the status quo whenever it is no longer serving its intended purpose. And as you do so, do not forget the foundation that the teachers at St. Jago High School laid out for you. These teachers made me realize that I should hold my head high, and I am of the view that they have done the same for you. They have taught you to be assertive yet charming, cautious yet audacious, and pleasant yet having seriousness of purpose. And while you build your legacy, let's not forget the legacy of the ancient Santiago that you will forever benefit from. Let's not forget the teachers who mothered and fathered you when things got difficult at home. Let's not forget the bonds made and the friendships that have been strengthened through a shared belief that we can all succeed. Let's not forget the lessons learned, the personal growth, and the innovation that have been fostered at 33 Monk Street, Spanish Town. The world is yours for the taking. You have the tools. Persevere and find the solutions. Tackle poverty in our country, close the education gaps, attend to the breakdown in our social and physical infrastructure, and give back to your nation, community, and your school. And with that, I say congratulations to the amazing class of 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Indeed, the world is yours for the taking. Graduates, please stand. If you turn in your programs, you will see Graduates' Prayer. You will also see that it says Graduates Only. So this is one of your moments to shine in this ceremony. I will invite the head boy, Mr. Akeem Polak, to lead the graduates.
Let us pray. We thank you for your guidance, O Lord, and we now commit our lives, Christ our Lord, amen, to you. Bless our parents and our teachers, and lead us always through Jesus. Eternal light, shine in our hearts. Eternal goodness, deliver our thoughts from evil. Eternal power, support our prayer. Eternal wisdom, scatter the darkness of our ignorance. Eternal pity, have mercy upon us, that all and mind and soul and strength we may seek thy face and be brought by thine infinite mercy to thy holy presence. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Mr. Damarli Cohen. At this time, parents, teachers, family, friends, well-wishers, the graduates will make their presentation to us.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. Cause the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Memories bring back you. Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it.
Yo, Ellie, are you kidding me?
girls and boys. Yeah, we give thanks like we need the most. We have to give thanks like we're really supposed to be thankful. Blessings are upon my life, and we have to thank God for the journey. The earnings are just for the plus. Gratitude is a must. Blessings are upon my right hand. But I toast to the friend, we take off every load. One time, late, sit down in a class and record. Then all is the road and we're going with it. So if I'm Mr. Make me try thing. I know if I'm up to be a fighting. Now I'm on stage with body what I sing. Yes, see me all jiggle one with the eye ring. Like hello patience, I had to shout ya. Saw you post a spectacular photo. Keep it burning, yes, that's the motto. Give me the butter, pass through your shoulder. Yeah, I'm balling a life, man. Me have to thank God for the journey. The earnings are just for the plus. Gratitude is a must, yeah. Blessings fall upon my right hand. But I toast for the friend, but take off every load. One time they sit down in a class and we boy, then all is at the road and we go on with it.
Oh, every morning I rise and stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. I lift up my eyes to the hills, I'm blessed away. With my two hands in the air as far as I can.
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. So when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to the hills, I'm blessed with my two hands in the air as far as I can go.
I just stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. Oh, every morning I just stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. Oh, 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 oh.
Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know that it is a blessing. Lift up my eyes to the hills, I'm blessed, oh man. Memories bring back you.
Mic check. Mic check, 1, 2. Let's put our hands together again for the graduates. Well done, well done. I like the energy. Oh, 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 oh. I like it. You may be seated at this time. At this time, I'm going to invite to do the valedictory address, Miss Samoya Russell. Put your hands together for your valedictorian. as she comes.
Chairman and guests, principal and staff, friends and family, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an honor to be delivering the valedictory address for the graduating class of 2021. I implore you, come along and let us journey into our 5 years of mountain highs, valley lows, and ocean-wide experience here at this noble institution, St. Jago High School. The journey here has truly been one of resilience and valor. Like excited atoms in a frenzy, we were on a high, frolicking on the corridors, getting acquainted with this new opportunity and making solid bonds with old and new friends. There were interform relays and netball competitions, sports day, girls and boys day, not to mention the interform quizzes which uncovered the members of our current quiz team. St. Jago has given us a certain clout. We are number one. Not only that, but we have long since figured out Mrs. Price's well-kept secret. Though we mustn't let others know, we are her favorite. We started this epic journey together. First form was amazing. We wish we could do it again, but like the rhythmic pattern of life, we move from stage to stage, not having any control over time. Second form and third form passed quicker than the half-life of season 134. Many would collectively say that these were their opium years, as the experiences here were phenomenal. By then, we had gotten the hang of school and had formed strong, covalent bonds with fellow students and serious, ionic bonds with teachers. We had become fully immersed in extracurricular activities. Here, all champions marched out. Singers, dancers and dramatists, basketballers, netballers, cricketers and track stars, linguists, mathematicians and debaters. Through this, we represented our school well and added our many achievements to the school's repertoire. Speaking of champions, what a parade it was in 2018 when the St. Jago High School's quiz team valiantly took home the trophy. All of Spanish Town celebrated with us on that day when we paraded through the streets celebrating our generals. With the potential in our team, that trophy will return to its rightful home very soon. As the years progressed, we were warned by many of our upper school friends that we should enjoy this time because the road ahead was treacherous. Of course, this meant nothing to us then, but in time we saw firsthand what they all meant. Again, these effervescent years ended abruptly, almost as if without notice. Just like that, the thrilling years were become a faded glance of an exciting memory. Fourth form was before us. Since we were now seniors, we engaged in and made plans to engage in many activities that we now felt confident to do, especially since we knew our time as high schoolers was running out. Some of these activities and accomplishments included getting gold, silver, and bronze medals in both JCDC and the Spanish Festival, training to go to champs that year, the school's annual cheerleading competition on Sports Day, even just participating in Sports Day events, which many of us, like myself, had been avoiding for years. After a fun-filled Sports Day, about starting our SBAs, the things we were most frightened about, but were ready to tackle and complete. Oh yes, we shook it off, pulled up our socks, buckled our shoes, put on our seatbelt, and some of us even donned helmets as we worked assiduously at our subject choices. It was now full speed ahead. Butts up, eyes set on target, and ears alerted to the sound of go. And just like that, we charged forward, no looking back. At least, so we thought. And there we were, right on track. The crowd cheering us on, motivated and in our element. We took the corner in January and were heading for the home stretch. Bang! Out of nowhere, without any warning, a magnanimous boulder fell right in the track. The era of the novel coronavirus infectious disease of 2019 began. Immediately, our spectacular school administration and academic staff was proactively in assessing the situation, retrieving the casualties, and helping us to reroute, keeping our eyes on the finish line. A week after the quarantine began, we switched mode from face-to-face to the online platform. It was bumpy for us at first, but the expertise of our technical and academic staff left no stone unturned. As though we faced difficulties, they ensured no student was left behind. Fourth form ended with much fear and anxiety brought on by the pandemic, which was worsening day by day. Our friends and teachers, who were part of our major support system, became a voice and an image on our screens. This sent shockwaves down our spine as we did not know how to interface with this new culture. Though traumatized and fearful, we were hopeful the pandemic would end and we would return to face-to-face in September in time for fifth form. Regrettably, this did not happen, and the whole world was in panic. Definitely, CSEC did not help in alleviating our fears. It seemed hopeless for us, and we often asked, why us? Trying using have time for this. But little did we know that we would be the pioneers of a new era in education. Today, we boast the fact that we are the first set of CSEC students to have done a full year of online interface. We too have overcome. Now we have come to the end of this journey, and we pause only to show gratitude to those who helped us, those who have been a robust pillar of support, and those who saw us through to the end. Thank you, heartfelt thanks to you, our parents and guardians who stood by us and supported us throughout the years, providing for our many demands and every need, for drying so many tears and supporting us emotionally as we succumb to the pressure. For your unconditional, undying love and encouragement, we thank you. The graduating class, our sweet, supportive friends, what would the experience be like without you all? We were separated, and now we have to go our separate ways. We laughed, we learned, we played, and we talked. The moral support was exceptional. The late night calls and texts were heartfelt. When we linked up face to face, it was like no other. Thank you for it all.
We are forever bonded, knitted together as family. The priceless Mrs. Furtado Price, invaluable you truly are. Your encouragement, steadfastness, and diligence kept us focused as we unearthed our greatness. Indeed, we are number one. You are resilient, caring, and competent teaching and administrative staff. You nurtured and equipped us with the right values and attitudes while guiding us through school. You helped us to identify our bright future and are one of our strongest sources of motivation. You related to us, and your empathetic acts have not gone unnoticed. Your pep talks before class, and even when you answered our late-night texts, have truly shown your love for us. For it all, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. You, our ancillary staff, who fed, secured us, and kept us in a clean environment. We built relationships with you too, and you all were sparks of joy in our busy days. For that, we are grateful. You, our community of Rivoli, the essence of Ravensworth. Thank you for every extra meal, every guiding word, and for that unmistakable sense of security and belonging we feel around our school. Thank you all. My fellow graduates, pioneers of greatness, I remind you, we cannot give up now. We have come way too far. No one even implied that the road would be easy. But we have faith. God did not bring us this far to leave us. Our strong and tenacious character makes us victorious even in the face of adversity. We were tested and put through fire, but today we are like pure gold, judicious and ambitious. The future is ours, though uncertain. Let us remain gracious and optimistic. We are equipped, ready to take on any challenge. We spent all these years being nurtured, prepared, and filled up with knowledge, skills, and the right attitude. Henceforth, wherever you go, whatever you do, be unstoppable. Be denizens of a culture of excellence. Never be overtaken by the mundane lure of normalcy. Rather, don't hesitate to show the world what we are made of. 7 moles of wisdom, 10 cups knowledge, 5 quarts of resilience, 3 liters of creativity, 6 decimeter cube vibrance and passion, 2 beakers of courage. Mixed well and beset with faith in God, we are the perfect recipe for success. I thank you.
Just to look at you now, indeed, a resilient group. We have come to that point in our ceremony where you will receive your presentations, or presentations will be made to you rather. You will receive your canisters. You will proceed to the church hall where you will collect your bag, which will contain your certificate and your graduation token. Now, how will we go about this? As we rehearsed, you will, when your name is called, come up the aisle. You will be presented with a canister in the center here. You will, A photograph will be taken. You will then proceed through the south door. That's the door facing the prison. You will exit through that door. You will proceed along the walkway to the picture garden. You will have your photograph taken very quickly. You don't have a lot of time to stay there. Proceed to the church hall where you will remove your gown, replace the gown from where you got it this morning, collect your package, and you will leave. Please remember that we have to observe all protocol, okay? So when I identify the group that will receive the presentation, you will stand at that appointed time. So we begin with my students, the sixth formers. Please stand. We will invite Miss Lissa Grant, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, to make the presentation to the sixth form.
There is a presentation of that this afterwards, so I think I should go first.